Welcome to Kaly's kitchen! Kaly, this is not a kitchen. Okay, yeah, you're right. This is, welcome to Kaly's office! I'm so glad you stopped by. Everyone is always welcome in Kaly's kitchen or office or wherever else I may wander. I may not have a lot of space, but I always will make room for you. This is my first video, which is why I'm not in the kitchen. I'm in an office. I hope it's not too echoey. I'm very new to this. I tried to make YouTube a long time ago, but we don't talk about those days. We're not gonna bring that up. But I wanted to explain why I'm making this channel and what all around recipes is actually going to be here on YouTube. I love exploring all types of cultures, especially their food. I am a big foodie, and honestly, I just can't travel to these places because, you know, the economy, it's been wonderful, right? So I can't really go to places like Japan or Zimbabwe or Korea or even Canada because it's just too expensive, and I kind of want to stay cozy in my kitchen, in my home. So I decided I wanted to make this YouTube channel to maybe help you as a viewer to feel comfortable making dishes that might seem intimidating or even a little nerve-wracking because they're not an American culture or wherever culture you've come from. Because just because it has a complicated name doesn't mean that it's hard to make. Sometimes we have to look a little harder for certain ingredients, but most places, especially if you're near like a larger city, you should be able to find the ingredients needed. But I'm gonna try really hard to make recipes that you should be able to find at your local grocery store. I do have a small disclaimer. I am not a professional and I will not be making my own recipes. In fact, I'm going to be using a lot of my time to look for people who have their own blogs or their own YouTube channels, follow their recipe, and I'm going to link every single recipe I follow down in my description box in every single video, so that way you can go and support these people. Because listen, I'm not from these countries and I want to make sure I do things as close to authentically possible as I can. So what better way is to find somebody who's already showed the content and advertise them, and just maybe I can make it a little bit easier to follow, or maybe we just have a good time and a good laugh, and who knows. Just come along, we'll find out what happens. I will always take feedback when it comes to anything in my videos, whether it be types of equipment, because you know, I don't really know much, or it could be advice on the cultural food itself. Maybe you have a recommendation, something to change, or just advice for other viewers. Maybe I'm not eating it correctly, even though I'm gonna do my best to do as much research as possible and actually talk to people who would know these answers. So if you follow me on Twitter or TikTok, I will be more than happy to listen to your feedback and get your advice on videos I can make in the future, and so that way I can do them correctly. I am not very active on Twitter, but I'm gonna start trying to. TikTok is probably the best place to get a hold of me. So, let me fully introduce myself so you know who this person on your screen is and why they're yelling at you. My name is Kaly. I grew up not in the kitchen. I never walked into the kitchen unless it was to get like a bag of Cheetos. And I always wanted to learn how to cook. So one time for Mother's Day, my mom sent me over to a neighbor's house and said, make me a Mother's Day meal. And so she taught me, the neighbor taught me how to make asparagus, a triple chocolate cake, and I don't know what the protein was. I'm assuming it was some kind of chicken, but I was 13 at the time. So did that stick in my noggin? Absolutely not. So when I got to college, I decided that I wanted to impress a boy, you know, because that always goes well. And I decided to make orange chicken and serve it with mangoes. Well, first of all, I burnt the orange chicken, so that was great. And then the boy told me he doesn't like exotic fruit, so bye, we don't need you around here. After that whole experience, I knew something needed to change, and I kind of dove headfirst into learning how to cook. It was very far and few between at the beginning. And then when I turned 21, I met my grandfather. And he was a culinary experimenter. He still is to this day. Maybe one day I'll feature him on my channel because this man, he will try anything and everything and he does not follow recipes and his food turns out really good. And after watching my grandfather cook and really enjoying the flavors and kind of being a little shocked because I'm not the type that can just measure with my heart. I have to measure things, mainly because I'm scared other people won't like how intense of the flavors I make them. So I always measure things, but not my papa. My papa just, he measures with his whole heart and soul, I'll tell you what. But after experiencing his food, I fell down a TikTok rabbit hole and I decided I wanted to try to make as many food items from other countries that I could find on my For You page. And I just loved it. I had so much fun. After talking to some of my friends, I realized the reason they don't really venture into making other food from other cultures and countries is because it just seems intimidating when a lot of the ingredients we have at our local grocery store. So why is it so intimidating? That's when I decided I was gonna make a YouTube channel. So what's my goal on this little YouTube channel, huh? I just want to explore the world of food. I know that not everyone's gonna like what I cook, and I know that not everyone's going to hate what I cook. And the reality is I just want to cook because I like to cook. And I'm hoping that maybe we can just, you know, put me on as a background noise. Let's tell some jokes and do some hee-haws. I want to make it feel like you are hanging out in the kitchen with me and we're gonna have a glass of wine or a beer or water, whatever you drink, and we're just gonna kick back and laugh and enjoy our time while I make dinner. And maybe you can learn something, maybe you won't, who knows? This channel is kind of up for debate on how serious it's gonna be, but as you can tell, I'm not the most serious person, so it's gonna be kind of goofy. A lot of recipe cooking channels, they feel so sterile and they feel so professional, and I just don't, like, I just want to be in my pajamas. And like, I know I have makeup on right now, but honestly, it's the first time I filmed this, my face was so red that I looked like, honestly, you know Violet from Willy Wonka, but red. I just looked so red and I felt like it was so distracting, and it doesn't help that behind my camera is my car and my car is red and it's shining onto my face. So I probably still look a little red, but I don't really care. I just kind of want to be comfortable. Like, I'm wearing my pajamas. You can't see it. I'm wearing my pajamas right now. So I just want us to be, you know, having a good time. What are my future goals for this channel? I would hope that I could maybe in the future find some really cool chefs, particularly local ones that have been, that lived in other countries and migrated here and they've opened up restaurants. And I would like to learn from them, whether it be South African or Korean or Japanese, I don't really care. I just want to go in and learn and see what it looks like and maybe hear some stories from them. And I think it'd be really fun. So join me for a little bit of wine, a whole lot of cooking, and some laughs on All Around Recipes and Kaly's Kitchen. I know that's gonna be confusing, I'm sorry. Kaly's Kitchen I thought was such a cute name, but I also like All Around Recipes because it kind of embodies it. So I think I'm gonna make channels with like Kaly's Kitchen and then maybe like a different, anyway, okay, you've heard enough of me. Goodbye. I love you. We'll see you later. Ah.